And the determinant of this 4 by 4 matrix, I'm going to start by generating a chart that is the same size, a 4 by 4 chart of positive and negative signs. And I'm going to make this chart by starting with a positive in the top left and then alternating across the rows and columns. So my next entry in this top row would be a negative, and then a positive, and then a negative. Since I just want it to be a 4 by 4 size, I would stop after 4 entries. And also alternate down each column, so positive, negative, positive, negative, and then just continue to alternate across each row, which also then alternates across the columns as well. So we'll have to refer to this chart as part of our process of finding this determinant. Now the process basically begins with choosing any row or column from this matrix to use to expand this by, and the most convenient choice would be the row or column with the most zeros, which in this case would be the third column. However, to more clearly illustrate this process generally, I'll choose a different row so that we can see more terms. And so I'll go ahead and pick row 3 here that has 1 0 in it, and look what that expansion looks like. No matter which row or column you choose, you will get the same value for the determinant. So that now that I've chosen this row, I want to look at that first entry in the row and look at the corresponding place in my sign chart. Well, that 1 here is in a positive spot. And so to start my determinant, I'm going to get positive 1 times the determinant of the matrix that I get by crossing out the row and the column that 1 belongs to. So that would be crossing out this first column and this first row, or this third row, since that's what the 1 belongs to. So that leaves me with all these other entries here, which would make up a 3 by 3 matrix. So as part of this process, I would have to evaluate the determinant of that 3 by 3 matrix. Now next I would move to the -2, the next entry in that row. The -2, that's in a negative spot here according to our sign chart. So I would get minus, because of the negative in our sign chart, -2 times the determinant of the matrix that I get by crossing out the row and column of the -2. Now that -2 belongs to the second column and the third row. That leaves us these entries here that would make up another 3 by 3 matrix that we would need to find the determinant of. And then I would continue to go with the next term in our row, which is a 0. That's in a positive spot. So I would have plus 0 times a determinant. Well, 0 times anything would be 0. And so I don't really need to write down that term, as I know that would just come out to 0. So I'll go ahead and move on to the 6. That 6 is in a negative spot based on our sign chart. So I'd get minus 6, the minus from the negative in our sign chart, times the determinant of the matrix that we get by crossing out the row and the column that the 6 belongs to. And that 6 belongs to this last column here in the third row. So again, that leaves us some numbers there that would make up a 3 by 3 matrix that we would need to find the determinant of. And so certainly we can see that having that 1 0 there is convenient, because that cut down one of the terms I would have had if there wasn't a 0. So again, had I chosen that third column, I had 3 zeros there. This process would have been a lot easier. Okay, so at this point we would need to evaluate each of these 3 by 3 determinants, which is a relatively complicated process on its own, and then go ahead and complete these operations with those 3 determinants. So I'll go ahead and just evaluate those. You can check these evaluations on your own to double check that you know how to find that determinant of a 3 by 3. But I will just go ahead and fill them in here so we can complete this calculation. Okay, so this first determinant is 20. And we'd have minus the -2, so that's plus 2 times that second determinant there, comes out to 45. And then minus 6 times that third determinant is 60. Well, that comes out to 20 plus 90 minus 360, which is -250.